What we're going to do now is actually go through the exercises themselves. So there's two different types of exercises. There's sort of mobility or stretching type exercises, and then there's some strengthening ones. So we'll go through the stretching type ones first. Okay. So you'll be given a booklet, and it has all the exercises laid out with the instructions and pictures on how to do it. Okay.
Okay.
So the first exercise we're going to look at is one that's called knuckle bends. And to do this, what you need is, to begin with, is to put yourself in this sort of position with your hand and your elbow on the table. And all you have to do is to bend the fingers down, but just at this joint here. Okay, so just at the knuckles across the back. So you're basically going in that sort of movement. You're keeping everything else nice and straight, just bending there. You go as far as you can, or about roughly 90 degrees. Hold that for about 5 seconds, and then back up to the top again.
Okay.
And then just repeat. Okay. Do you want to try that?
Okay. I'll put my hand there.
You can if you like, just to help stabilise, but it's not essential. So just bending, so just at these knuckles, try and keep those as straight as possible. It may not be.
No.
And try and keep your wrist from bending as well. So you may only be able to get to there, that's fine.
Yeah.
And then just come back up. Good. Just try that again. So holding for about 5 seconds. And then just come back to the start again. Okay, so you've done 2 of those, and we normally ask you to start by just doing 5 to begin with, each time holding it for that 5 seconds. Okay, so that's the first exercise. The next one is a series of different movements you have to make with your fingers. It's called finger bends, and basically you again start in the same position with your hand like this, and you're going to keep your wrist nice and still, and you're doing sort of 3 different types of movement with your fingers. So the first one, you're just bending down as if you're trying to touch the very top of your palm, just the knuckles there. Hold that for 5 seconds, back to the top. Then you're going to reach down, trying to touch the base of your palm as far as you can. Hold that for 5 seconds, back to the top again, and then you're just going to squeeze in nice and tight. Again, holding that for 5 seconds before you relax and release up to the start position. So
that's
those,
one.
Those 3 movements count as one repetition. So would you like to just try that now?
Okay.
The first one, remember, is just to the very top, or as close as you can to it. 5 seconds, and then back to the start. That's it. Now this time all the way down to the base, or as close as you can get down to it without bending the wrist.
That's it.
That's fine, that's good. Yep, and then back up again. And this time just squeezing in, keeping your wrist nice and straight. Yep. Good.
Okay.
And then back up. So that's 1. And again, we'd ask you to do that 5 times. All right.
Okay.
So obviously the pictures we have here in the exercise booklet are the idealized positions and methods of doing it. But you just go as close as you can to those without giving yourself any pain or too much of a problem. But the idea is to get as close as you can within your particular limits. Okay? That's the second exercise. The next exercise we have is one we call finger walking. And basically you start with your hand nice and flat on the table and your fingers and your thumb all together, and then you just walk your thumb out as far as you can to the side, and then with each finger you try and move towards your thumb. Now, I'm not very good at this particular exercise, but what you will find also is that the first 2 fingers will be easier, and you'll find the second 2 maybe not move quite so far. Okay, but that's the idea, is you're trying to get as close to your thumb or towards your thumb as you can.
Have a go at that.
So you have a go at that one. So thumb out first, good.
Try and get them together again.
Yes, if you can. Brilliant. And then just pick the hand up, put it down with everything together, and then start with your thumb, and then walk everything towards that. Brilliant. Okay.
Yeah, good.
So that's fairly simple, that
That
one.
was a good one.
And as with most of these exercises, if you find that you're quite comfortable and you can do them reasonably easily without too much problems, you can actually do both hands together. So you could do that
Try
with
both,
both
yeah.
there, or the same when you're doing this one or the other ones. Okay, you can do both hands together. The next mobility exercise is just what we call wrist circles. So again, you're in this position with your elbow down and your hand pointing up, and you're just going to make circles as big as you can. Okay, 5 times one way, and then 5 times back the other way.
Okay.
Now, what we don't want is for you to be waving your arm around like that.
Yeah.
So sometimes, especially when you first start doing these, it might be helpful to actually just use your other hand to stabilize and
It's
just
only
do
your
it that
hand
way.
moving, not your wrist.
Yeah. Well, it's the wrist. It's all the movements coming from
I
your wrist,
suppose.
but it's just your hand
Yeah.
rather than your
I see.
forearm and your elbow.
That'd be
Okay.
easier.
So have a go at that one. Again, just as far as you can with your circles. You may find it easier in one direction than the other. Okay, that's not too bad. Try going the other way.
Sort of whizzing around about there.
Okay, now that's good.
Okay, good.
All right. Now you may find that you get a few clunks or clicks going on when
Yeah,
you
it
do
was
that.
just then, yeah.
As long as it's not causing you pain or too much, discomfort, then that's fine. Okay. All right. The next one is what we call spread fingers. So you start in the similar position as you did for the finger walking exercise, but all you have to do now is just try and spread the fingers and the thumb out as far as you possibly can. Hold that for 5 seconds. Back to the start. Okay, and then you just keep repeating that. So just try and do that one. Hold for 5, bring them back together, and then just keep repeating it. Good. And again, once you get used to it, if you want to, you can do both hands together. And that'll just make things a bit quicker for you. All right, now that's the end of the. Oh, no, we've got 2 more exercises actually for the mobility, but they involve all of your arm rather than just the hands and the wrist. Okay, so for this one, you'll need to stand up, but I'll just show you first. Okay, so the first one, you're just in a position with your arms by your side, and all you're going to do is reach down behind your back as if you're trying to scratch. Okay, so reaching down as far as you can, and then back again. And you'd again hold that for about 5 seconds. Just go back to the start, and you'd repeat that 5 times.
Just right now?
Yep.
Cool. So just.
That's it. Reaching down as far as you possibly can without giving yourself too much grief. 5 seconds, relax, back down to the start, and one more time. Very good. Okay, the other exercise is very similar, except this time you're going to reach up behind you like this. Okay? So again, as far as you can, hold it for 5. Back to the start, just one more time. And relax. That's fine. Let's grab a seat again.